Okay.
So I've never really gotten into shmups. I didn't like the idea of one hit taking you out and you lose all your power-ups, or cheap pot shots that come out of nowhere because you weren't looking at the right part of the screen, or just the pure amount of bullshit on screen. I mean, look at this. What do you want me to do? You want me to deal with that? No way. And look, I know what a bullet hell game is, and yes, one of my favorite games of all time is Star Fox 64, and it's an on-rail shooters some of the time, so it doesn't count. Game genres are stupid, okay? Recently, I played and beaten a game called Void Strangers, an odd, unique Sokoban block puzzle labyrinth game made by a team of just 2 people called System Erasure. And, being curious, I looked at the only other game they made, called Zeroranger. I don't say this about media often, but I fell in love with this game. Okay, so before I talk about Zeroranger, I want to talk about Void Stranger for 5 seconds because I don't have enough time to make a video about it, and this seems like the best time. Void Stranger is a really cool puzzle game with a lot of interesting ideas, an intriguing story, and an incredible grasp on how you grow a game from a concept. Not just how the narrative grows, not just how the mechanical depth grows, but the player's understanding of the world and rules around them grow. My biggest issue is it can be such a slog to complete the game. You'll end up going through the same floors again and again, adding up to hundreds, if not thousands of floors you have to traverse until you reach the ending. And at multiple points, it is made unclear if you're making progress, are you doing what the game wants you to do, or are you just wasting time on fruitless endeavors. At multiple points, I had really bad ludonarrative dissonance with the majority of scenes because I was just confused if the game was over or if I just screwed up and got the bad ending instead of taking the scene for what it was. Although it did challenge me with one of the hardest boss fights ever. Insane.
Aliens from outer space, they took our super cool computer thingy. Get in that ship and mess them up to save the human race.
The game just shouts its reverence for its genre and its inspirations. It has so much love for its progenitors that came before it. Even somebody who is unaware of shmup lore has picked up on a few of them. Oh, that's a shmup thing. That's the hallway from Ikaruga. That's probably a shmup thing. That's that fucking ship that I hate! Oh, hey, isn't that the sea from Ava? I wonder what that's about. The game's story is very sparse, and the environments and gameplay do a lot of the narrative lifting. The amount of dialogue you get is very little that the script for this game can fit onto 2 napkins or 1 paper towel. Even deciding on which of the 2 pilots you'll pick will give you very little but important information about the world. It's up to you, the player, to piece a good amount of the story together. So again, I haven't played a lot of shmups, but the flow of this game is just so good. The controls feel very responsive. Your hitbox is clearly displayed, except for one part, but I won't get into that now. Enemies' bullets are distinctly colored, so you won't die. You've had it hard, haven't you? Yeah, because you only gave me 1 continue and I had 3 lives and now— oh. Zeroranger curves difficulty in a real simple but effective way. The higher the score, the more lives you get. When you lose a life, the threshold for your next life is lowered. So, say I had 3 lives and need 8,000 more points for my next one. If I lose a life, the next threshold is only 7,000 instead. It makes it easier to get lives and stay alive. At the end of your run, your entire score is shoved into this Buddha thingy? I don't know, it's like a theme or something? And it gives you up to 8 continues after you've played it enough. And since you're playing the same level multiple times, it gets you an understanding of the layout of each level, as well as mechanical improvement of playing the game as well. So all these systems feed into each other and improve your skills and have you play longer as well. And wait a second, what's that? What's that thingy up there? So this up here is your multiplier. Almost every enemy you take down adds to it by some value. It maxes out at 6.4, meaning even if an enemy that is worth 100 points is defeated, you can get up to like 640 points. That could help you get an extra life, maybe even an extra pack of bubble gum. The multiplier is another mechanic that drives into all of the other ones I've glossed over. Now, dying won't have you lose power-ups, but it will hit your multiplier. It's vitally important that the player understand when some waves will come in, because the multiplier quickly empties if you're not shooting or exploding something. It drains faster the higher the multiplier is, so it's important to slow down your shots and how fast you kill waves in some situations to keep your multiplier up for as long as you can. This had me thinking about how parts of the game were developed. Was it function versus form, or vice versa? If they had the multiplier system in mind during early development, then they can plan out the level with the multiplier in mind. How about the weapon system? Was that designed with levels and multiplier in mind? Yes, of course they were. Have you been looking at this footage? There are 7 weapons in this game: basic shot, side shot, charge shot, lock on, drill, and sword. And each pilot has slightly different ways of using them. While none of these weapons are groundbreaking in terms of design, the fact that you can only pick 3 out of the 6 means you have to make a choice based on your playstyle, with what you're comfortable with and with what your weak spots are. The back shot, for instance, is the only shot that can shoot behind you, because it's a back shot, you see. Me, personally, I'm a Type C side shot charge drill type of guy, if you know what I mean. Before we get to the next part, a quick word from our sponsor, me. I made a game. It's an RPG where you can change your equipment to change your skills and abilities and maybe learn them. Bosses have tough patterns that you need to adapt to in battle, and there are like 7 dungeons, 2 characters, and side quests where you can do a dragoon jump. Check it out. It's called Banbard, and I always put it on sale during Steam sales. I should just lower the price, but I don't know how people market stuff. Anyway, check it out. My mom said it's cool, and my dad said it had good graphics. So, after you beat the 3rd level and fight a jet, and a snake, and a train, and this stupid tank, you then fight this mysterious mecha, and after beating it, it gives you the choice between one of 2 more weapons. I wonder. Making it here, the game reveals a new level of depth. Your ship can transform into a mech with your choice of sword or drill. The sword has more consistent damage and range, and it can deflect bullets, while the drill can charge up to become a big drill and will flat out destroy most bullets. On top of that, you can now overload your multiplier to 12.8. So if you kill an enemy worth 100 points, you would get like a way bigger number from that. With a higher multiplier, your combo can drop even quicker, so you really have to be alert in this last level to get the most use out of it. I really don't have much else to say about the melee weapons except they're really cool. The entirety of this last stage is also my favorite too. The music, the atmosphere, opens up with a lonely space track that ramps up higher and higher, eliminating fake big Zans as you drive down into the planet's atmosphere, take out this skull guy, and then you enter it. Green-orange, unstopping, encountering new challenge after new challenge, boss after boss, these stupid eye thingies that I hate. Until after all that, the game has you do a second loop of these levels. While this initially might come off as tacky or cheap, the context behind the second loop is incredibly interesting. You get jumped back to the beginning of the game, but with the planet under even more dire straits than before. The enemies are tougher and you have all your weapons from before. Yeah, you go through the first level again with every power-up you have, and bosses will still drop their power-ups so you can swap them out depending on what's coming next. Furthermore, the bosses on each stage have been changed and made to be even harder. Right when I thought I had gotten good enough to beat the game, it throws me for a loop. Or should I say, second loop, But no, seriously, the second loop was a real challenge for me. I was trying to do the entire second loop from 2-1 with all my continues to the end and was running into roadblock and setbacks. Like Grapefruit, look at this thing. There's so much shit going on, and getting to these dumb orb things that never want to play fair and... Okay, now this bit. And after all of that, after struggling and trying again and again, after defeating the final boss, the game still has one more trick up its sleeve. You see, the alien threat that has attacked your home planet has won. There's no home to go back to. But you're given an option. You can either go back to the first loop and start all of this over again, repeating this cycle, this game that you've been playing with the whole time. Or go back to the origin in time where you attempt to defeat the primeval fighter, whatever that means, and escape this endless loop. If you choose the later, you have one shot at this. All of your continues are converted into lives, so if you have 3 continues after the last boss, you have 3 lives for the final stage. If you fail, all your progress is erased. The level select goes back to 1-1. You lose all of your continues you've been saving up to this point. If you fail, you start from nothing and must claw your way back here. The final level is hard. It's hard in a bunch of different ways, designed for you to fail the first few times. You have no weapons and instead must either stay within the enemy's weak point or just tap it, with some projectiles either damaging you or bumping you. The first time I did this, I was confused and didn't understand the enemy's projectiles just turned into the background. So I avoided the changing background, got hit too many times, died, and started from the beginning. I was in shock when I failed. I have to play the game from the beginning. The next time I did that, I got a little farther, but didn't understand how to get to this lotus flower. Getting bumped, killed, and had to start all over again. Clear levels and grind up continues the whole time. If I didn't have enough continues once I beat Despair, I would just have to quit and redo the entire fight again, hopefully with enough continues where I could attempt the final level again. The next time I got there, I unlearned how to dodge the initial laser barrage, losing 2 lives. Most of my attempts after this would now involve me losing 2 of my precious lives to this attack. The final phase being a spiral of orbs and bullets where you have to thread the needle to hit that bullseye. I could not understand how to do the final part. It seemed like there was no clear opening. The longer I waited for an opening, the more likely I would get hit and lose all my progress. I looked up online to find a guide or help for this part, but didn't really find anything useful. Only after I beat this boss, I found some information online. That the patterns of the bullet apparently slow down over time, that the bullet patterns alternate between clockwise and counterclockwise, which is when you'll have your opening. Apparently. It's hard to discern these things when you have so much riding on it, when there's so much going on. Now look, I'll say I've gotten fairly proficient at Zeroranger up to this point. I can go from 2-1 to Grapefruit with only losing 1 or 2 continues. After that, it's a bit of a crapshoot against Despair. I understand that the point of the final stage is to not give up, and to persevere, and to find enlightenment, or whatever. But this shit took me 10 times. 10 times! I try 1 or 2 attempts a day, stop, and try again the next day. Each try taking me about an hour to get to the end and grind up enough continues, only to lose 2 lives to the lasers and get blindsided by the final phase. I just couldn't understand what to do with that final pattern. After enough attempts, I just started save scumming so I wouldn't lose all my progress. I sat down one night and just grinded through it until I won. Eventually I did do it, not through my own skills or learning the patterns, but what to me felt like blind luck.
May you obtain enlightenment.
I obtained frustration. This would have taken me over 10 hours if I didn't back up my saves. Like Void Stranger, I was not in sync with what the game wanted me to feel. With Void Stranger, I left confused and empty. With Zeroranger, I felt frustration and resentment. I left the game after that, unfortunately having my experience soured with it. I had inklings of making some type of video about Zeroranger, but after my experience with the last boss, I was really burned by the idea. A few weeks later, I decided to boot the game back up, going over the extras section of the game. Now that you beat the last boss and stopped Green Orange from ever existing, the game has changed. Not just the levels in Zeroranger, there are some minor differences to show that, but the whole game has updated. You're no longer playing Green Orange mode, but Great Oppressor mode. You have new options to toggle the color palette, and you have challenges. Challenges that give you credits to unlock Art of Additional Lore. Well, maybe I can just screw around with some of these. Oh, there are grades for each level now. And there are challenges related to getting an A rank on a level. Well, I can do one or two of them. Let me check some videos and I can go on the wiki and... Oh, what's this? The wiki says that there is a secret challenge you can do called... There is a hidden challenge in this game called Zeroranger. To do this, you must complete every other challenge in one run. That means getting every secret bonus, A-ranking every level, not using a single continue, and finding the 10-meter tall bunny girl. The last part's very important. Like how the game changes after you defeat the last boss, these challenges change how you play the game. It goes from don't die and try to get a high score to get a high score, don't die. Your priorities change with how the game gives you these new challenges. To even start this challenge, you must first go through each level one at a time and practice for an A rank. Now you really need to be cognizant of the multiplier. In certain sections you need that meter to be as high as possible to maximize your score. Getting A rank doesn't demand perfection, but it does demand that you have a very good understanding of the level. You'll also have to discover new techniques and mechanics to milk out every point you can. Like the Big Zam fight at 1-3. You need to keep Big Zam alive as long as you can because its little side turret thingies spit out orbs you can destroy for points, and you need to do it for that fight because the point requirement is so high. It retrains you on how you tackle levels. Perfectly crack those eggs, master that crab tunnel, drill through the train, and beat that dumb ass tank boss. After a while, I was able to A-rank levels every couple of tries, but that wasn't enough for me. I had to do it more consistently, get hit less, rack up more lives, understand these exploits more, keep my Malta up with the charge shot over here, overloaded with the drill there. I need to keep the multiplier as high as I can, but if it's too high, I won't be able to maintain it, and if it's too low, no, maybe there's another way to keep it. I became obsessed with this game. I was thinking about it in the car, at work, when I was trying to sleep. I'd look up high score runs with my weapon choice, watching these videos and conceptualizing what I had to do to improve my score, even just a little bit. And every time I practiced, I got a little better and better until I was ready to do a full run. At this point, the game changes on you for one final time. If you're confident enough, you can try to do the Zeroranger run. You just have to do each area, each stage, as good as you've done in practice. But you're not going to be able to do it your first time. Not even your second, fifth, or 10th attempt. Because you're not actually attempting the Zeroranger run. You're still practicing it. You just haven't realized it. Or maybe you don't want to admit it. Every fail attempt becomes a practice run. Because if you were actually ready, you would have gotten every secret bonus in 1-3. You would have gotten through all the bosses in 1-4 without a scratch. You'd be able to crack those skull enemies on instinct alone. You would have flawlessly beaten despair. Watching this video, you would notice there is a lot of stuff on screen, and focusing and paying attention to everything is understandably mentally draining. I would only be able to attempt so many runs in a day. Because of work and other obligations, I could only really do 2 good runs per weekday and 4 on a weekend if I was lucky, allowing me to have 18 runs per week. While that may seem like a good amount, it really doesn't feel like it. I would have days off, weird days, runs where I would die in ways I didn't even know were possible, or just shit like this would happen. Then one Sunday, it happened. I installed what is called a trainer for Zeroranger that, along with some basic cheats like God Mode, had a bunch of helpful practicing tools, like save stating and going back and forth between checkpoints to practice areas and bosses. I started a run to mess around with a couple of commands, not sure what some of them did. I then got to the 3rd level and beat it with an A rank. Oh, I hope I didn't do anything that would be game altering, because that would not only invalidate my run, but just make me feel awful. The trainer really doesn't tell you what features are on and off without pressing the relative button again. And if I accidentally activated that feature when my run was good, it would turn on and invalidate my run. Well, I shouldn't be worried. I mean, what am I thinking about? I'll just wait until I fail this run and then take my time and check the trainer settings. What are the odds that this is the run I make it to despair with an A rank, all bonuses and no game overs? That would be the most ironic thing that I could... Fuck. I had this overwhelming feeling that this was going to be the run. I also had this terror that I did something with the trainer that would invalidate the run. All I had to do was beat despair, run the escape sequence, and check...
Please continue.
On top of that, OBS didn't record any of the audio, so even if I did the run, it wouldn't have really counted. Isn't that just hilarious? I mean, I've been doing this for weeks, and it wouldn't have worked anyway. I mean, what a comedy of errors here, huh? Huh? Well, I guess I can't feel too bad. I mean, this was one of my best runs. It should be easy to just do all of it over again. So, for what felt like about a month, I've been practicing Zeroranger almost every day when possible. I also, coincidentally, have chronic wrist pain that has been going on and off for the last 5 or 6 years. My exact condition is called the Quevrins tensionovitis, where the tendons in my wrist, specifically my thumb, have become inflamed. This condition can be caused by various reasons, but in particular, continuous strain or repetitive motion. My repetitive action of slightly moving my thumb to hold the fire button, then moving my thumb off to stop firing, that monotonous action over the course of a month ramped up my wrist from minor pain to moderate to finally extreme pain. It was the worst pain I've ever had in my wrist. I would have pain anytime I moved it. My tendons became so damaged you could actually see the inflammation. My wrist looked like it had been bruised really bad. It was to the point where I was considering surgery for it. Anything I did with my wrist just caused constant pain. It sucked. I wore a brace, I iced it, I massaged it, I took medication, and I rested it for a month, which considerably reduced the pain, but that pain was still there. To anybody who is at the computer all day due to their job or hobby, I would seriously consider doing the Finkelstein test. It takes 10 seconds to check the state of your wrist. Check with a doctor and just give your body the rest it deserves. Links in the description. Obviously, over the course of that month, I couldn't play Zeroranger, which really sucked because I felt I was so close to my goal. Just one more attempt. Surely that was all I needed. Getting a 1cc clear on a shmup is considered a level of prestige, an understanding and mastery of the game. Getting every bonus requires you to pay attention and take risks, and A-ranking each level demands you play aggressively. Getting hit in high scoring sections will jeopardize your run now because you need to take even more risks in sections you could play safer to make up for that score deficit. On top of that, the weapons you pick will make areas and bosses significantly easier or harder depending on your loadout. Looking at the high score list, a lot of people prefer to use the back shot and lock-on to maximize their scoring potential. Both weapons I'm not using. While a high score run isn't indicative of a Zeroranger run, getting to A rank as quickly and consistently as possible is one of the most important things for this challenge. After days and weeks going by, as of writing for the script for this video, I have not achieved my Zeroranger run. It is tough, it is challenging, and it is very demanding, It is something that needs consistency from you, the player. Where most games you can build and prep your character for a specific individual challenge, the Zeroranger run demands focus and nerves of steel for that 45-minute continuous challenge with no rest. While I don't know the next time I'll get that close to the Zeroranger challenge again, I've had a lot of fun playing this game. It's been too long since I've wanted to go back to a game I've completed through sheer joy, aesthetic, and overall just how well crafted the experience is. Even though this game can technically be beaten in an hour, I have over 60 hours of playtime for this baby. This game is definitely a passion project, and it shows the charm and joy this game has to offer really makes me appreciate well-crafted, short, arcadey experiences. And while System Erasure's last game only came out in 2023, I'm really excited for what they have in store next.